tad turned around. I'm kind of still on the path. Oh, okay. Alright, I think we're back. The first time I will see you guys, or I will see this phone in 48 hours. Bye. The first time I traveled on my own, I was 14. My parents were doing shifts, each taking their turn to tie up loose ends in China. One summer, they were both needed back in the motherland, so there was no choice but to let this middle schooler travel internationally on his own, post 9/11. I was never skinny, but at 14 I hadn't started working out yet. So the shyest, least imposing, most anxious version of myself was thrust into a crowded Pearson terminal full of tough adults. Toughest being the TSA agents who would shoot you for having the wrong thing in your suitcase. Or so I was told by my mom, while she meticulously ran through what I was supposed to do and not supposed to do over the phone. Not much of that conversation stuck with me, TSA misinformation aside, because I was so excited to go on this adventure that I was hardly listening. Much of my response to fear remains the same today. The greater the adversity presented before me, the more my heart yearns to conquer it. I've learned that not everyone feels this way. In my mind, there are two types of fear. The kind that makes you freeze, and the kind that makes you hesitate. If I dropped a tiger into your room, a hungry tiger who charges you on sight with claws outstretched, falls in the freezing category. The danger is real and imminent. The situation is not one you've prepared for. Your instincts tell you, if you do not pull out 500% of your total capabilities, you're not making it out of this. That's reasonable fear, which may cause you to freeze up. And in that momentary freeze, your adrenaline kicks in, time slows, and your brain combs through all of your life experiences to find a solution. This is your survival instinct. I have experienced it 3 times in my life, and it is extraordinary. The hesitating kind of fear is more common. It's the flutter you feel on a balcony edge. It grips your stomach when you walk into a room full of strangers. It stops you from walking down a dark alley on your own by asking the question, "Are you sure you want to do that?" Because you're facing the unknown, and your brain likes to think that behind every unknown, there is a tiger. Now, I have no problem with the strategy. As it turns out, doing this tends to keep you away from tigers, and has kept our species alive so far. No, I have a problem when you tell me you see tigers everywhere. I recently made a friend at this underground concert. She's curious, creative, and adventurous enough to want to go on this camping trip with me, but she backed out at the last moment. In her, I hear the voice of fear, as I did when she told me not to climb this esoteric sculpture in Grange Park, and when she told me not to investigate this charming, albeit menacingly chanting ring of folks after a late-night concert. Now, I don't blame her at all. My goal is not to judge anyone's emotions. I may be feeling a little petty after my camping companion was stolen from me. Nevertheless, once I heard the voice of fear so strongly, I couldn't help but wonder what experiences she's had that would lead her to that state. Any reason is a sufficient reason. After all, tragedies are abundant, and the need to avoid repeating tragedies is a noble enough pursuit to justify fear, even the hesitation kind of fear. Yet, I remain unconvinced. If the voice of fear you're listening to is meant to protect you, read, it keeps you alive, then what good will it do for you if the life it protects is one that you live within such enclosed boundaries? Let me rephrase that. Yes, you will find comfort in safety, in the familiar, in doing things you are sure you'll succeed at, but you acquire it at the cost of all your potential growth. So, what's the right balance? How do you say yes when everything looks like a tiger? My advice is, go find a tiger and see how you would deal with it. Probably you won't win if you fight it, even a baby tiger, but you have tools at your disposal. You must. Figure out what they are and use them to get out of the situation. Also, don't face it alone. Eventually, yes, but not at first. The trick is, if you are choosing to face a tiger, you get to stack the odds so overwhelmingly in your favor that the tiger is inevitably conquered. And once you beat a tiger, what is there to fear? And away we go. Yeah. We'll be fine. Please don't litter. We'll be okay. Lion's head. So, try and get my thoughts as I walk through the dark. You won't see me very well, but such is the task that we are given. Holy shit. Okay, not going that way. Sure thing, why not? So, a couple things about fear. It is remarkable to me how temporary it is. When it hits very, very strong. And it's very difficult to overcome it, I know firsthand. Obviously, it's scary doing some of the things that I want to do. But the great thing about overcoming fear is that if you do it for a while, you get better at fighting it. It's what psychology researchers noticed, is that building courage just takes fighting that fear over and over again. Right? And I'm not saying that you should go out into the woods just to, in the dark by yourself, just to, I guess, prove a point. Right? As a person who's seeking freedom, I want to be aware how much rules are getting in the way of what I'm trying to do, as long as I'm being safe. I think it's a fine compromise to just do what I need to do, and then as long as I'm not hurting myself or other people, it feels like I'll be okay. Oh, look, I found a map. I am currently here, and I am a few kilometers out to the Lion's Head Lookout. It's hard for me to condone breaking rules, obviously, because rules are what protect us, and rules are there usually for a good reason. The one thing that I struggle to, I guess, keep track of is how difficult some rules are to follow when I'm just trying to do my little videos, maybe do my little stunts, and really, I'm not harming anyone. And yet people still try to tell me that I can't do the thing that I want to do. Now, is there a good reason behind it? Probably, like, to protect most people and to prevent everyone from doing the thing and not knowing their limits. I think of it as almost like a barrier to entry, right? It's like, oh, they're really adamant. Uh-oh. I have met some difficult terrain here. This is all water. Gotta really watch my step. We're good? As I was saying, barrier to entry, which really is asking you, are you sure you want to do this? Right? Because we've put up fences, or we've set up a don't cross this barrier sign, and it's good liability, right? Or it's good liability management, because it means that if something were to happen, they'll rightly say, look, we try to warn you. We put up the signs and everything. You're just too much of an idiot to listen. And I accept that. Sometimes I am too much of an idiot to listen. I always say that fear is an insidious killer, right? It may prevent you from doing the thing that's gonna cause you to die quickly, but if you keep preventing yourself from doing the things that you want to do, aren't you just gonna end up dying slowly, having still not done the things that you want to do? And I want to say another thing, which is that I don't think I'm all that special, right? I feel like my actions and the things that I'm trying to do here, they're not like crazy, you know? Like, I'm not I don't feel like I'm stepping out of the norm. I know other people who do this, right? All I'm doing is attempting a trail just a little bit earlier than most other people would. I know you can't really see me right now, but that's because I'm navigating a big pond. There's a... Oh, shit. Yeah, that's all mud right there. So is this. Gotta go around. Okay, a tad turned around. I'm kind of still on the path, but there's a, I don't know if you can see, there's a lot more like shrubbery behind me and shit. Not really too concerned just yet. I think the path is, I don't know, that way. Okay, so after moving through the brush for a little bit, I think I'm back on the trail. I don't want to film all of that because I was kind of looking at the ground a lot. Ugh. But I think, okay, I think we're back. Okay, okay. All right. Yeah, we're okay. Oops. Hello. All right. I will also say, can you see me? Kinda. I will also say, if you are tired of overcrowding on hikes, that's the direction we go. I highly recommend this, because obviously there ain't nobody around. Okay. I don't know if you can see that, but very narrowly missed this tripwire. Yeah, I think about how to answer that question. You know, how do I make decisions and do things in a way that a future version of myself will be proud, or even just like satisfied with what I've done. Now, speaking of satisfaction, I'm pretty sure the path is that way. However, there's a wide expanse curving to the right and a path curving to the left. I'm gonna go that way. I think this way is correct. Okay, so this says to look out. I don't know if you can tell. I guess you can't. But the sky is actually getting to be a light blue. Wow. That's a long way down. I think I've made it to where the lookout is. Just kidding. Looks like I'm not at the lookout yet. Gotta keep going. Okay. What does it say? Don't throw rocks or garbage off the cliff top. Yeah. That's a can do. Holy moly. It's a long way down. Alright, so, you can tell by the lighting here, even if I turn my lamp off. Now the lamp is off. It's bright now, so it's morning, and that means that the sun is probably risen. And here's my view. You know? Not much to see, if we're honest. Right? That's not the ocean, it's Georgian Bay. And we don't see much of it. at all. But you know, that is what it is. And I might go back into the forest and search for a place with a better view, but I think, judging by how foggy it is, we're not gonna get much more of this. So, with that being said, guys, mission accomplished. That wasn't so bad, was it? At the end of the day, I think I'm a knowledge seeker. Like, as stupid as that sounds, because I was never a very good student. So, thinking about being a knowledge seeker feels like I'm kidding myself. But let me put it to you this way. There's knowledge that you gain from thinking about things and, you know, delving deeply into a topic, and then there's knowledge you gain from lived life experience, and that's the part where I have plenty, right, from my age. And not to brag, it's just I'm out here doing this kind of stuff instead of, well, suffice to say that I'm not everyone's out here doing this kind of stuff, right? And so I consider it part of my job, part of my duty to go through experiences like this and come away with lessons, and then bring them back to you all, right? Because then you get to experience a little bit of you get to experience a little bit of the insanity that goes on in my brain, without having to suffer any of the consequences that I end up incurring. Like, I don't know if I'm going to include the clip of it here, but I think my car is kind of fucked. So we'll get back to it and then we'll see if it starts. But it may be quite a it may be quite a difficult journey for me to get back home. But that's okay. Anyways, I wanted to show you a little bit more of the actual trail in the forest, because it's actually beautiful out, right? Like, this moody little, foggy little forest. You can find some charm in that. At least I can. I don't know how to close out this video, but hopefully you got something out of that. Peace. Just imagine the sunrise. It's coming from that direction. Wow, beautiful.